Hi guys, do you really know how much you're spending on subscriptions every month? Well, let me tell you that 89% of Americans underestimate how much they're paying on these. But don't worry about it, this video is exactly about that. I'll be sharing in here some ways that you can manage your expenses and be more aware of them. Let's go. We know if you want to enjoy some movies today, there's all sorts of subscriptions like Netflix, Hulu, Disney+, HBO Max, and they all seem important because they have their specific titles. I'm saying it's fine to have multiple subscriptions, but they can easily get out of hand when every business nowadays seems to be billing you monthly. So for this problem, there are two simple solutions that I found that will help you keep track of your money spent on subscriptions. They are the automatic way and the fun and cool manual way. Since you're smart, you can probably tell that the manual way is just somewhat of writing down your own subscriptions manually. But in this video, I'll be sharing both of them with their pros and their cons. But before we get into that, I want to explain some basic tips before canceling any unnecessary payment to make the most of the money that you already spent. Number 1, this is super easy. Sharing your subscriptions with your family will significantly save money for all of you. Most of these services like YouTube Premium tend to have a family plan, and if you're gonna use them, it's better in an all-in-one subscription than separate ones. Number 2 is also a no-brainer. If you know you're not gonna cancel a subscription, simply switch to the annual option on that subscription, and that will save you some percentage every month that will add up over the years. Number 3, take advantage of free trials. Most of the platforms have one of these, and you can use it for whatever you needed that period and immediately make a reminder for the day before the trial ends, so you don't spend more money on something that you won't even use. More often than not, we can forget about these and be spending on something we wanted to try out a couple times, and now it's a recurring payment. A great strategy is to binge watch the most popular shows in that platform while still being on the free trial and then canceling out before it ends, so you actually don't even have to spend anything at the end of the month. Those are some simple tips that you can apply for cutting immediately your cost every month, and there's tons in the internet like that. So now I'll be going into the manual method. There's the old school way of doing it, which is grabbing a piece of paper or a notebook and looking at your bill every month and start writing down your subscriptions. I don't have a problem with that since I like handwriting stuff, but I find to use an app more helpful. Any reminder app or note-taking app will work, but I genuinely recommend Notion for this, and we'll check it out. This is an app I use for a lot of things like writing the script for this video, and it's generally so helpful, but we won't be talking about it much today. I'll leave this template down in the description and you can duplicate it and download it if you want. I didn't make it, but it's still really useful. The only thing is that you have to input your own subscriptions, which will make you more responsible, of course. And in general, I just love the design of this app, and that's why I use it for almost everything, and it's so satisfying to input and create your own things. So that's why my favorite one is this method. But now let's get into the automatic method. Well, for the automatic method, there's dozens of apps that will let you track your monthly subscriptions and expenses. I ended up going for Rocket Money. I understand that Truebill also does the job pretty well, but most of the other apps, you will have to pay a monthly subscription to manage monthly subscriptions, which I don't really like, and it doesn't make sense to the customer, and that's why I don't recommend the other apps. Rocket Money just simply gets the job done tracking your expenses by connecting itself to your bank account. To install it, simply go to the App Store, log in with your information, and go ahead. Hey, but this is the tricky part. Once you enter the app and log in and put your information and everything else, you will be asked for what the price you think it's fair for using the app, which is $9, $10, or $11 a month. Don't get tricked by this. You can actually go ahead and go to more options, and then you can select the bar and go to 0, and you will use the app absolutely for free, which is what we intend in this video. At the end, it's just a question of preference, because I really like both of these methods. Even though the app is using really sensitive information, which is your bank information, Rocket Money is still well encrypted and secure though. It's just at the end, you need to actually track your subscriptions, because it is believed that on average, Americans spend $200 to $400 a month on subscriptions, even though like $60 of those are just streaming services, still you have to manage them. But speaking of apps which will use some sensitive information, check out my video on TikTok and their crazy policy. I explain you there how to protect your information as well, so don't worry about it. Share your thoughts on the comments, like the video, subscribe, and ciao ciao. Significantly save money for your family.